Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Radwan. I'm a Visual Studio LM MVP and Senior LM Consultant at Marvel LM. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to install System Center Configuration Manager 2012 Service Pack 1 on Windows Server 2012. You may already know that recently we have some concept about DevOps or Development and Operation, which integrate System Center Operation Manager with TFS. But actually, this is not the only integration exists with System Center, because I believe that System Center, Operation Manager, Configuration Manager, Service Manager, and Orchestrator also can give the ALM a different flavor. Later, I will show some of these integration, so I started by showing how to install System Center Configuration Manager. Our environment consists of the main machine with Hyper-V that hold all the VMs for our scenario. Of course, these machines can be physical machines as well. The first machine is a domain controller that has a Windows Server 28 R2 Service Pack 1 with Active Directory. The second machine has Windows Server 2012, and of course this machine that will be used to install the System Center Configuration Manager 2012 Service Pack 1. And the third machine is a client machine that has Windows 8, and it will be used as a client machine. And I will show you how to add this machine for our infrastructure, so we can use this infrastructure later for different deployment for software. I will use remote desktop for connecting to the second machine for preparation for System Center 2012. Here's the domain controller, admin account. Open the server manager and start adding role and features. Next. I will choose a web server and add any required feature. Next. I will choose .NET Framework 3.5 and make sure that 4.5 is selected, and of course I will select the bits and all required. I will also select the remote differential comparison or DFC. Next. Here I will go to security. I will choose basic authentication, IP, URL, and Windows authentication. In the application development, I will open it and choose ASP and ASP 3.5, ASP 4.5. And in management tool, I will choose IS management service, and open the management compatibility and choose IS WMI compatibility. Let's specify the path on the CD of Windows Server 2012. After, of course, I put the DVD on the driver. Let's put it, mount to the DVD. I always like to make sure of the path, and I will copy that path and put it here. And of course I will start the machine if needed, and let's install. So now everything installed. Let's close this and close this. Okay, let's open remotely the domain controller. It's 6.1. So another domain, of course, not my domain controller, different domain controller. Okay, username and password. Yes. So now I start using the run to open the ADSI edit.msc, so I can edit this configuration, and I will start right click and connect to, and taking the default. Okay, let's expand here and I'm going to the system and right click and create new object and choose container. We will create a container, and we have to naming this container system management with this specific case. The case is very important, and the spelling of course. Okay, next. I can give it permission from here, properties and security, but I prefer to show you another way for giving this container permission by opening the Active Directory user, and go to view and choose advanced. This will open the advanced option, and from here navigating to the system management container, which was recently added, and start right click and choose properties, security, and add. So here we are looking for computers. We want to add the system center machine to here, so find, and I will choose the system center machine to have full privilege and full control on this machine. Let's add advanced option. This is very important, and of course I will choose here the system center machine. It's here, and let's edit, and of course here I will choose to all and descendant object and apply for enter. This is very important. When I forget this in the first time, I saw some errors in the event viewer that showed that system center machine can't have permission to update the system management container on the domain controller. So it is very important. Just remember to do that. Let's close this and get back to the Windows Server 2012 machine to extend the Active Directory schema. And to do that, we will need to open and mount the System Center DVD to our DVD, because it has a tool that extends the Active Directory schema. So it's here, just mount, right click and mount. Now navigate to SMS setup bin x64. Search for extend Active Directory schema, double click, yes, it's finished. Let's go to the C drive, open this file, and let's see the result. We can find here that the schema successfully extended. So let's close this now. Okay. Now we'll start to mount the SQL Server 2012 Service Pack 1 Standard Edition and start the setup. Installation, new SQL Server. There is another instance. Let's close it. Okay. The checker. This is my product key. Next. Accept, and I can send feature for Microsoft. It's better. I will download the SQL Server update. The check run. Okay. Accept the firewall as usual. SQL feature installation. I will just need the database engine, and I prefer also to install the client tool connectivity, and of course management tool for configuring some property for the SQL Server instance. Okay, next, let's install the default instance. Okay, it's better if we could make this automatic and this. And for the SQL Server, we need to put the network service. So let's navigate, open this so I can leave. Yes, It's also better to review the collision. It is Latin CIAS. Next, add the current user, which is mRad1 admin domain controller. Okay, send Windows and SQL Server for Microsoft. It is better for report this for Microsoft. Okay, next. Of course, this will install the update and then install the SQL Server. Now the installation is complete. Let's close the installation. We will need to download and install assessment and deployment kit. I already downloaded, so let's install it. Okay, next. Yes, it's better to join the customer experience. Okay, accept. I don't need all these components, so let's choose only the component needed. The only 3 components here, as you can see. Okay, next, install. Yes. Now the installation is complete. Let's install System Center. We'll go to the DVD of the System Center and double click. Install. Yes. Next. The main option here is to installing System Center as a central administration site or as a primary site. The main difference here that if we installing System Center as central administration site, that's meaning we can join primary sites or secondary site to it later. But if we choose to install System Center as a primary site, that's meaning 2 options. The first one is we installing System Center as a standalone site, or we want to join this primary site for existing central administration site. So this is very important decision to know when you start to installing System Center. To make things simple, we will choose primary site. Let's be evaluation. Next. Accept the license. Next. We accept all license terms. Okay, next. Here we need to specify the folder for download. I already downloaded the file on my computer, and I will just put it in a access path. If I didn't download it, I will just choose a folder and it will start download the file, but of course I will need to connect to the internet. And next, so it will use the downloaded file and it will not download any files. Okay, here next. Here I need to have naming the site. I naming ALM, and the site name will be Marvel System Center Configuration Manager. I will not install the management console now. Here the second important choice, if I'm using this primary site to join a central administration or using as a standalone, and here is a critical decision, because if we choosing as a standalone, we will not be able to change this later. We will need to migrate that to another, and since we don't have a central administration, we will choose a standalone. Here is the confirmation, entering the SQL Server instance, and since the same machine, so we'll accept the default. Here we entering the machine that we want to install the SMS provider, which is an intermediate between database and the interface. And here we will choose HTTP because we don't have a primary key infrastructure. Here we install management point and distribution point by default. It's okay. It's better to join the customer experience improvement program for Microsoft. And here is the checking for the installation before the installation. We can see here we have some warnings. Let's correct some warning about the minimum of the memory, because we don't specifying minimum and maximum of the memory. So we'll open the SQL Server Management Studio, connect, and then right click on the instance and choose properties, memory, and start specifying minimum and the maximum. Let's be 4000, and also the maximum 4000. Okay, now let's run the check again. We will find that one of the warning is disappeared. Install. Now the installation is complete. Let's install the administration console. We can of course install this console on any other machine. We may install it on a desktop machine that connects to the system center. Next. Here we will put the fully qualified domain name of the system center configuration manager. Next. Okay. Join the customer experience. It's better always. Next. Install. Okay, let's start the console of the configuration manager. And here now we have System Center Configuration Manager 2012 installed on Windows Server 2012. This is the main screen for the configuration management console. Let's go to devices to examine the existing devices. We can see here that this is the machine of System Center, and we will go to the administration. Let's open hierarchy configuration. We will go to the boundaries and start creating new boundaries to limit the investigation for finding machine. Here I will choose the Active Directory, and here we'll choose my Active Directory. This is the boundary default. It's okay. I will name it DC or domain controller. After I create the boundary, I will create a boundary group. Okay, let's say it is main boundary, and of course I will add some boundaries to this group, and then assign that group to an existing site. So now we have boundaries and boundary group, and this boundary group assigned to this site. So now we can start using the discovery method, that discovering the machine. I will using the Active Directory system discovery. Double click. I will enable and browse to all machines. Okay. I will go to this option. This is new option in 2012, and choose only the machine that I just log into it from 14 days. This is very helpful option, because sometimes there is a machine that you don't want to bring here because it is not existing anymore, but of course the machine name is still existing on the domain controller. So you don't want some machine existing without being there actually. Okay, yes. Let's go to the asset and complaints to examine the existing device. It will need some time to discover this machine. Let's refresh by going to devices again, and here is the machine, the client machine just discovered. Let's connect remote to examine this machine. It has Windows 8 as we mentioned before. The domain controller admin mrad1, yes. Here, this is the machine that we will use later on different scenarios for System Center Configuration Manager with ALM. At the end, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I will be more than happy for answering any questions about the content. Thank you.